Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life. Now, you've probably heard my story over the past couple of weeks where I've gone over the whole big thing between me and my big ex. Now, after our third breakup, I was in this realization that we weren't a good fit for one another, and it would make more sense if we just parted ways and didn't try to get back together for a third time, because we had gotten back together 2 other times before, which is how we ended up in this place where we had a third breakup. But what was like the big thing for me was I started to realize who she was and what she was all about. And I don't mean this in a bad way. And I also started to realize who I was and what I was all about. We were just at a place where we wanted different things in life. We just had different values that were conflicting with one another. And again, it doesn't make her wrong, it doesn't make me wrong, it doesn't make her right, it doesn't make me right. It's just we were just different people. She was in this place where she really just wanted this really predictable, secure, stable kind of life where she could fit in, where she wouldn't be uncomfortable out of her comfort zone or anything like that. And there's reasons that she wanted this. I don't necessarily need to go into those, but she just wanted to fit in. She just wanted to not stick out. She wanted to just sort of blend into the background. And I was getting to this place where I can go into this more later on, but I was starting to have, I guess you could call it some sort of emotional awakening, where I was kind of coming out of maybe something that you might call emotional unavailability. And I was coming out of it, and I was actually realizing who I was and what I wanted and what my life was all about. What I wanted was not to just sort of fit in and have this, life where I conform to everyone around me and all that sort of stuff. I wanted to do things differently. I wanted to have a life that was maybe a little bit different, that was in alignment with my values. As I have given myself permission and explored what that might look like over the past several years, that's caused me to do things like start this YouTube channel here, which is totally weird and strange for the shy young man that I used to be in high school. I could have never done this in high school. I've also done all sorts of things like travel around the world. I spent a year living in Asia. Things that are just totally way outside of the realm of possibility based off of who I used to be. It was just getting to the point where it started to become clear that in order for us to actually be together, either I would have to be unhappy and put my own values on hold, or she would have to be unhappy and put her own values on hold. Or both of us would somehow have to be unhappy and find some sort of compromise where neither one of us could really live into our values. At that point, it just made sense for us to not be together anymore. And so the first sign that you should be moving on from your ex is just if energetically the two of you aren't in alignment any longer. You want something, they want something else. They want something, you want something different. The two of you just aren't in alignment anymore. If you have to somehow be someone else in order to be with them, or they have to be someone else in order to be with you, that is the first sign that the two of you shouldn't be together anymore. The second sign that you should be moving on from your ex is if you can't accept them for who they are. You need them or want them to be someone other than who they are for your own sake. Like you say, if only he was more ambitious, if only she was more, focused on her fitness, if only he was more outgoing, if only she was more understanding and considerate. When you start to do this, you're not accepting your partner as who they are. You're not embracing who they are. And instead you're trying to force them to be someone other than who they are, which is an inherently unloving thing to do. I understand, you might meet someone, you might be like, yeah, they're 95% of who I want in a partner. If only we could just change this one little thing, they'd be perfect. But if you can't accept them as who they are, you're always going to be a little bit dissatisfied with your relationship. Even if you do get the relationship, even if the two of you do get back together, you're always going to be dissatisfied with it. So it's really important that you only pursue a relationship with your ex, or with anyone for that matter, if you can really accept them as who they are and not feel as if you need to change them in one way or other in order to meet your needs or your standards. I mean, if that's what you're going through, honestly, the most loving thing that you could do is to release them and let them go so that they can find someone who can love them fully and completely for who they are, and you can find someone that you can love fully and completely for who they are. It's just going to be an exercise in frustration to try and do anything else. I mean, I get it. If they're like, 99% of the way there, it can be really frustrating. But that's where the whole dating strategy that we talk about inside Authentic Dating comes into play. You don't want to be in a relationship with someone that's just almost there. They have a lot of great qualities, but there's just this one or two things missing, because you're gonna feel resentment about those things. You're gonna feel a sense of dissatisfaction about that, and that's not what you want to be in. That's not where you want to be. There were a lot of great qualities about my big ex. There were a lot of great things about her personality-wise and all sorts of things like that, but just she wanted this nice conformity-oriented life, and that's not what I wanted, and that was a big thing for me and a big thing for her, and so it made sense for us to part our ways, because that was the hill worth dying on, because it wasn't fair for me to ask her to take all these what she might think of as crazy risks by living in another country, or having her partner be some weirdo on YouTube or anything like that. And it wasn't fair for me to hold myself back for the sake of what she wanted. So it made sense for us to part ways and to go our different paths. And yeah, it was a difficult journey and a difficult choice, but we had to accept each other for who we were and realize that okay, it just makes sense for us to part ways here. Okay, the next sign that you should be moving on from your ex is if you are not living your best life. If you're putting your life on hold for them, you feel like you have to hold yourself back. I had a client who, she felt like she had to hold herself back for the sake of her ex. She felt like she had to, not do a bunch of publicity interviews or put her career on the back burner because of him, because somehow she would outshine him or something like that. And I don't want that for you. If you can't live into your values, if you can't live your best life, if you can't be fully expressed, then that's a problem. Now, oftentimes these can just be, poor beliefs of oh yeah, I need to do this for their sake, and they're never asking you for this at all, but you just have some weird belief that says, oh, I need to not shine brighter than them or something like that. But if they're specifically asking you hey, hold yourself back for my sake, then that's not cool. And of course this also spills over into other things as well too. If you just feel like you can't live your best life because you're holding space for them or something like that, then that's a problem as well too. I want you to live your best life. The person that you are going to be in an amazing, great, wonderful, super connected relationship with, they are going to want you to live your best life as well too. I hope you know that. You deserve that. We all deserve that. That's what I mean when I say you deserve to be loved for who you are. You deserve to be able to be fully you, whatever that means. You deserve to go after it, whether that's your career, whether that's your sexual orientation, whether that's your personality, whether that's whether you want to do something totally goofy like me and live in another country, or live in another continent for a year, whether you want to do an online business and be a digital nomad, whether you want to live your life in some unusual way for you. You should be able to do that. You should be able to fully express who you are, and if you feel like you can't do that, first of all, it could just be a misunderstanding. Maybe you just have some belief that says, oh, I shouldn't do this, but then you actually talk to them and they're like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense, you should do that. Okay, cool, that's a misunderstanding. But if they are actively saying hey, there's something wrong with you because you have this certain political belief, or you have this certain thing that you want to do, or you have this certain career that you're going after, or whatever, then that's them asking you to hold yourself back. That's them asking you to not be you. And I don't want that for you. And the person that's right for you isn't going to want that for you either. And so this all makes you wonder, like, okay, when should you actually keep going for it with your ex? That is where we want to turn this conversation, because we can talk about all the 1,000,001 reasons why you shouldn't get back together with your ex, or why it might be time to move on or whatever. But when is it time to actually say, you know what, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to go for it. First of all, if you and your ex are a match for one another, you know, the important things for you and the important things for them match up. And it's like, okay, maybe we both want to do something, you know, crazy and ridiculous, like travel the world. Maybe we both want to move to this other city and start a bakery together. Maybe we both want to do something like get really involved in our church and start all these community programs or something like that. That's awesome. That's great. But if there's some sort of mismatch in terms of your values, in terms of what you want for you, in terms of what they want for them, and in order for you to be happy, they have to be unhappy, or in order for them to be happy, you have to be unhappy, then that's a problem. If the two of you are matching up and you're aligned pretty well, then okay, great, go for it. And then if you can accept them the way that they are, you don't feel like you need to change them. You don't feel like you just need to make them more communicative, or they just need to, you know, be a little bit more emotionally understanding than they are. And if you can accept them the way they are, then fine, go for it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and see what's possible between the two of you. And then also, if you're able to live your best life, if you don't have to hold yourself back for their sake, then that's awesome. And on top of that, if you just want to see what's going on between the two of you, if you just want to see what's possible between the two of you, then awesome, go for it. I'm not going to tell you to just give up if you want to make something happen between the two of you. And at the same time, if you say, okay, all of these things are in place, but I just don't feel it anymore, that's totally fine too. It's okay to change direction in life. It's okay to say, okay, yeah, it made sense for a while for me to try to get back together with my ex, but I'm just not feeling it anymore. I just want to say yes to this person that's asking me out on a date here. Like, fine, go for it. Go for it. I'm all in support of you doing all that. What are the times that it makes sense for you to move on from your ex? Go ahead and leave a comment down below. And then after that, go ahead and check out this video series over here on getting over a breakup.